Hey guys, welcome back. I have a very big update. Recently, for the past nearly 2 weeks, I've had my older brother's amazing wedding, and a lot of my family came from overseas. So I spent a lot of time playing with them, spending time, playing games, doing errands, work, and then lack of sleep. But I managed to actually add quite a bit to the collection and have a roadmap coming up. So to start off, I guess we'll talk about this very briefly. This is Strange Aeons. It is, as you can read, it's a miniature skirmish game of eldritch horror based off of H.P. Lovecraft's amazing, literature works. I used to play a lot of this with my fiance Sam, and I think in the relatively near future we'll be playing a lot more of this. I'll be painting a lot of the old classic gothic horror Citadel miniatures for it. So look forward to that and more in depth of how to play this amazing game. I got a new dice tray just because my old one was pretty worn and beat up. I got these two chest cases that are full of all the miniatures I've been playing, Otherworld Fantasy, Talisman, and anything else. I have some of the miniatures in there which I'll take out after this introduction. Here, these two represent some of the models I have been painting for our fantasy games. We got Talisman, which I played, I believe, 4 to 5 times with all of the cousins. I think our biggest game had 9 people playing at once, so really fun game. Eventually I would like to do a more in-depth board game review. I know there's a lot of lovely videos already out there about it, but I have my own opinions about the game and it's fantastic. And then I want to review these things a lot too. So this is Otherworld, the fantasy game that I really adore and encourage more people to try to find. I believe the company is now out of production, but I'm sure you can find these on the internet. But these things are from Loki battle mats, and I've been using them a lot more for, I guess, my miniature games, solely because I don't have enough time to create terrain anymore as I'm painting miniatures. But these things are awesome. They have pretty much, amazing graphics for the, I guess, boards and terrain you would play with. I will go more in depth about them, but I adore these and they're really cheap for the quality you get. So that's, I guess, the big update roadmap. I'll be doing more Otherworld Fantasy, playing more Talisman, doing my eldritch horror games, and of course painting more miniatures. So I'll be back with what I've painted in these 2-ish weeks. And I'm gonna apologize about the slight shaky cam, guys. I think for this update, I'm just gonna commit to more like an honest video where I'm not gonna set up the terrain and get the what do you call it, like the camera stand. So this is all what I've painted actually in the past last update, so about 2 weeks. I'm gonna start with something really simple. This is a D&D shrieker. It was again made in Citadel from 1987, and if you know the D&D lore, these mushrooms are human-sized and they act like alarm systems. So when you get to a certain distance from them, they just start screaming, which attracts other creatures. Really simple model to paint, very lovely, a lot of actually surprisingly detailed, and happy to have one done. I'll have one more painted soon and has a nickel for weight. Then we got one of my favorite miniatures, which is, let me hold it by the base, let's see. This is the Citadel Troll for Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. So it has that first 1E edition of D&D, and really lovely detail. I do apologize about the light. I have some natural sunlight coming from the window, but I went for more of that traditional lime green look you have, or you rather see in artwork. And my new way of painting black is to use blues, and I think it just helps pop. Basically all my painting is more bubblegummy now, or very classic. But again, a lot of great detail on this miniature, and very fortunate to have 2 more. I know these guys can be sometimes pricey, but I like how big he is, and the detail honestly is amazing. I went for more of a brown undertone, and I think it does help make him pop as I was worried the green would blend in too much with the basing. So yeah, so that's him. We got a pretty generic archer from Citadel. I believe he may have been one of the early Bretonnian archers. I'm not entirely sure. And I went for a very generic paint job, as it's just a bowman, so you don't want something, I think, to overshadow. I can use this guy in Otherworld as either a good alignment, I guess, peasant bowman, or a mercenary archer. That's why I went for these colors, as I think it's pretty generic. Then we have a Citadel Minotaur, and I really do love this miniature. I think this is like a classic one. I think a lot of people should know this pose, and I had a lot of fun just highlighting his butt cheeks, and overall nothing too much to say about him. I do have a painting guide I'm working on just for the fur and the skin tone. Hopefully I have that up fairly soon. But yeah, this miniature, really cool to have. Maybe I'll paint more Minotaur. Really good to use in the D&D skirmish game, and potentially could maybe use this for Strange Aeons or any of those games that need, classic monsters. Then we have actually another gnoll, again from Citadel's 1987 Advanced Dungeons and Dragon line. This gnoll archer, I went for more of a albino scheme, and I'm actually quite pleased with how he turned out. I think I'm having a lot of fun again with all of like the maybe bubblegum color I just mentioned earlier. I'm just trying to add visually as many colors as possible, as painting so many Warhammer Fantasy armies, you do feel like you're a little bit constrained by painting these skirmish models, and they're so much character and they're very individual. It allows me to really have fun and make them all quite unique. So I'm pretty pleased with the way I painted this one up. The gnolls do take the most time just because they have a ton of detail, but very happy he's done. Then we're moving on to the first edition Wood Elf Dryads from Citadel. I really love these models. I have maybe too many. It was supposed to be for my Wood Elf army project, but quickly abandoned. But I did paint this guy up to use for Otherworld Fantasy, as I think having this Dryad Treant Forest Spirit works well for any warbands that have elves, satyrs, and centaurs. Painting wise, pretty straightforward. Actually, a lot of dry brushing, and then once you get the bark down, you pick out the skin tones, add the moss effects, and then a few of the barks I made it gray just to break up the colors. I'm not sure how well it picks up on the camera, but really lovely model. I think the face detail is simply amazing, and I may paint one or two more, and I'm gonna be selling the rest of them on my eBay page, as I really don't think I'll be making a Wood Elf army anytime soon. Also weighted down by a nickel. Moving along to one of my favorite miniatures from Citadel. This is a rust monster they made in 1987, and if you play D&D, I think everyone who plays it should know the iconic rust monster. This is before they leaned into the more bug look, so he still has like a mammal looking face. I know the colors are jarring. I actually followed a piece of artwork, which I probably would put up now in this corner, and it had a blue underbelly, and I really like that. But the artwork had, when this tail comes out, it had more of a transition. Whoever sculpted this from Games Workshop in 1987 made the underbelly go straight into the tail. So I just decided, just for a nice visual change of pace, having it completely blue. Now I know some people may think this looks ugly, the color wise and everything, but I really had a ton of fun painting it. A lot of different glazes and blending to get the rusty orange and fleshy brown scales. Really cute model. He is mounted on a 30 mil base. I am happy Games Workshop made a new base size, as actually when I look over here, the Rust monster plus the Minotaur are actually on 30 mils. The Troll's on a 40 mil, and then these guys, the smallest base size I'm using is a 25. I think 20 mils are way too small, so I'm really happy that with the old world they introduced these new base sizes, even though it did cause a little bit of controversy for rebasing. But here's a little Rust monster. I have one more I have to build and two more I ordered recently, so having a small group of them will be really cool, especially for my D&D games. Next we got Talisman miniatures. So here is my Talisman warrior. I had a lot of fun with the non-metallic and repaint. So actually I painted these models roughly a year and a half ago, and I was very disappointed in them, so I repainted him, and I think the new gloves, the new metallic, and the new red and purple really pop. He's really striking, so I'm excited to do more of the non-metallic, but it is a little exhausting, but I think it's worth the effort, especially for these classic miniatures, as it fits their very goofy, old school and 80s feel. So I think I have a total now of 13 Talisman characters down. There's 87 total, so I still have a long way to go, but that's the warrior. Let's keep in line with Talisman. I painted two of the toads. This is the plain toad from the 2nd edition Talisman. Hopefully it zooms, yep. And really love how the eyes came out on this little goober. And then the tones. I painted him first, which allowed me to paint the troll over there. Really well detailed, and I actually have too many of them, so I may sell the extra copies I have on my eBay store as well. But my goal is to get all 5 poses. I currently own 4 of the 5. I am just missing the wizard toad, and he seems a bit too expensive and too hard to come by for now. So that's the plain toad. Then we have my fiance's favorite toad, the ranger toad, or the cowboy toad. I thought he was a cowboy too until you notice he has a bow quiver. And again, really loved painting these little guys. So cute. And it's just fun Googling toad colors and having fun with it. This orange brown, I definitely have to make a painting guide, as I really liked how it came out. And I guess this model here captures why I love painting this skirmish level amount of monsters and classic Citadel. It really allows me to have fun, and I keep saying it. I love playing with the color tones. I'm throwing blues, purples, reds, all these, near white, flesh, pale tone. This has been very liberating for painting, and I just really encourage a lot of you guys to do the same thing, as I feel like once you paint an army, you kind of lean to that tone, but by painting individuals like this, you'll find things like I think blues become my favorite color for miniature painting. Browns, I've unlocked painting a lot of unique browns now, and you just find new ways to cut corners, or you could try a color combination that you're glad you tried, but then realize you don't want to do anymore. And the last 2 miniatures, sorry about that tangent, are the Citadel plastic spiders that came on the swarms. These 2 models, or the color schemes, I cannot take full credit. I just copied the box art. So this one had that black to brown color scheme, and I thought it was beautiful. So I have the first one here, and he might be my favorite. I just love these giant spiders. In comparison, some would consider this not a giant spider, but when you put it next to a human, when you think about that in real life, this spider is as big as your dog. I would consider that a giant spider. I know nowadays when they make a spider model, compared to this guy, it'd probably be as big as this troll, but to me that'd be like a monstrously ginormous spider. I would classify these classic Citadel plastic ones as like the perfect scale. Then the second one I painted, also copying the box art. was this beautiful like red tone that led to orange, and I really think he came out well. Maybe actually, you know what? Maybe he's my favorite compared to this guy. You guys below, let me know which color scheme you prefer, but a ton of joy to paint this guy. And again, I do apologize about the lack of painting guides. I feel like some of you guys only came for that. I promise I'm working on them. Just sometimes when I'm painting all of these guys, you know, you lose track of time, or I did something that, like when I painted him, it looked horrible and I didn't know if it would come out good. So I stopped recording, and then like 5 minutes before he's done, I started thinking, oh, I wish I recorded all the steps. But yeah, here's the painting update since then. And again, here are the 2 cases. I'm keeping everything so far. So far, one is completely filled, and the second one is, oh, this is a completely filled one of all of my non-Warhammer Fantasy Army miniatures. And this one below is only filled, let's see, it's only filled for this much. So I still have a lot more to go. And I have 2 more of these cases. So eventually I may own like 6 of these cases worth of Talisman and fantasy miniatures before I start doing the Lovecraft miniatures. But I hope you guys enjoyed this quick update. Again, I wanted to keep it more grounded and not so fake with all my terrain and then all of that. But I hope you enjoyed the update. A lot more stuff coming up. Hopefully another battle report of Otherworld Fantasy, as I finally have a ton more warbands ready to go. But until then, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, a look out for, hopefully within the week, a minimum of 2 more videos to come.